Hey, good to see you back on the channel. I'm Michael. Today's story is one of those quiet ones that sneaks up on you. It starts with a regular family dinner and ends with a family that doesn't really fit back together. Let's get into it.
My daughter's new boyfriend pulled into my driveway in a gray Ford F-150. Nice truck. Older guy. She'd warned me about that part. Sunglasses, a little gray at the temples. And I stood there at the grill with a pair of tongs in my hand, thinking, okay, I can work with this. Then he took the sunglasses off, and I watched my wife go still in the doorway, dish towel in her hand, half a step onto the porch, frozen. Dana doesn't freeze. 27 years married, and she's the calmest person I have ever known. Compressor blows up, kid breaks an arm, hurricane on the coast. Dana's the one still standing there, thinking straight. But she knew this man. She'd almost married this man. 30 years ago, before she ever met me, before Maren existed, this was the love of my wife's life. And now he was standing in my backyard, holding my daughter's hand. Let me back up. My name's Wade. I'm 51. I run service for an HVAC company in San Marcos, Texas, and I've been doing it long enough that I don't get surprised by much anymore. Dana's 49. She cleans teeth 3 days a week up in Georgetown. We've got one kid, Maren, 25, lives up in Austin. Works as a project coordinator for a company that fixes up commercial buildings, restaurants, dentist offices, that kind of thing. And I want to be clear about something before this whole thing goes where it goes. I am not a controlling father. I never checked her phone. I never ran off a boyfriend. When she brought guys home in high school and college, I'd shake their hand, ask what they were studying, and stay out of it. My whole life, my position was simple. If my daughter's happy, and a man treats her right, it's none of my business. I need you to remember that, because what happened next wasn't me being some crazy Texas dad who couldn't let go. It was this one man. She called me about a week before Memorial Day. I was in the truck between jobs. I'm bringing someone Sunday, she says. Someone with a name? Cal. That's it, Cal. Didn't ring a single bell. It's not a rare name. I've probably known 4 Cals in my life. He's older than me, she says. How much older? And she kind of ducks it. Enough that Mom's probably gonna make a face. I laughed. I actually laughed. I told her nobody was going to make a face. Bring him Sunday. I'll do brisket. So Sunday comes. I've got the smoker going since the morning. Dana's in the kitchen doing her potato salad. The one with the mustard that Maren's loved since she was 6. Everything's normal. Everything's fine. Maren's about 20 minutes late, which is Maren. And then the truck. I told you about the truck. He walks up, offers his hand. Firm grip. Doesn't overdo it, looks me in the eye. Wade, good to meet you. And I already know his face. I can't place it yet, but I know it. It's the kind of knowing that sits in your stomach before it gets to your head. Maren's smiling. Dad, this is Cal. And that's when it lands. Not from anything he said, from an old photograph. A shoebox we went through years ago when we moved. Dana, 22, skinny, laughing, and a young guy with his arm around her that she said she used to be serious with a long time ago. I only ever knew one thing about him. His name. Cal. Cal Rourke. I look at Dana. She's in the doorway. Dish towel. Not moving. And she says one word. Cal? Maren's head goes back and forth between them. And she's still smiling because she has no idea She thinks this is funny. She goes, "Wait, you two know each other?" Nobody answers for a second. Then Cal says, "Yeah." "From where?" Maren asks. Dana says, "A long time ago." And Cal, I'll give him this, he didn't try to slide out of it. Cal looks at my daughter and says, "Your mom and I dated." Maren laughed. God help her, she laughed. Because for about 4 seconds, it was just a wild coincidence. Small world, haha. Then she looked at her mother's face, and the laugh died in her throat. "Like, dated? Dana said, "We lived together." And that's when my daughter stopped smiling.
Just put yourself in his shoes, standing at your own grill, and the man your wife almost married is holding your daughter's hand. I don't even know what my face would have done. So let me ask you, and be honest, if that was your kid, do you say something right there?
I want to tell you what was going through my head, standing at my own grill in my own backyard. And it's not something I'm proud of, but it's the truth. All I could think was, this man used to sleep with my wife, and now he's sleeping with my daughter. Nobody said that out loud, thank God, but it was there. It just hung in the air over the potato salad like smoke. Dinner didn't happen. Not really. Dana asked Maren to come help her in the kitchen, which is what she says when she needs to say something out of earshot. I could hear pieces of it anyway. That house isn't big. Dana said, "I need you to understand who this man was." And Maren said, "Was? 27 years ago. People don't just become different people, Maren. You haven't talked to him in almost 30 years, Mom." And that one landed on me too, standing out there pretending to fuss with the brisket. Because she was right. Dana didn't know who Cal was now. She knew who he was at 25. Then Maren asked her the questions. And this is the part I keep coming back to. Has he done anything to me? Silence. Has he lied to me? Silence. Has he ever treated me bad, even once? And Dana said, "No." And Maren said, "Then you're asking me to leave someone because of something he did before I was born." I should have kept my mouth shut. I know that now. But I walked in and I said the dumbest possible thing. I said, "He's closer to our age than yours." And that was it. That was the moment I lost her, and it had nothing to do with Cal. She turned on me. "I'm 25, Dad." "I know how old you are." "Apparently you don't." Here's the thing about Cal. He didn't fight me. I almost wish he had. If he'd puffed up and said something like, "She's a grown woman, old man, back off," I'd have known what to do with that. I'd have had my villain. He didn't. He looked tired. He looked at Maren and said, quiet, "We should go." And then Dana did something I didn't expect. She looked straight at him and said, "Did you know?" Cal said, "No." And Dana said, "Don't lie to me again." Again. Maren heard it too. I watched her hear it. That one word told my daughter that whatever happened between her mother and this man 30 years ago, it left a scar deep enough that Dana still reached for it first. They left, and the house was so quiet you could hear the smoker ticking outside.
And here's what gets me about this part. Dana said, "Don't lie to me again." Again. 30 years later, and that word just came out of her. That tells you everything about how deep this went. Real quick, Hit that like button if you're as hooked as I am right now. It genuinely helps the channel. All right, it's about to get more complicated.
She didn't call for a few days. When she finally reached out, it was to her mother, and it wasn't a screaming match. It was worse than that, honestly. It was calm. She wrote something like, "I understand seeing him upset you, but I'm not going to end a relationship over something that happened before I existed." And Dana wrote back, "I'm not asking you to do this for me," which was a lie, because that's exactly what she was asking. Now here's where I did the thing every father tells himself he'd never do. I started digging. Not a detective, nothing crazy, just Facebook, LinkedIn, county records. I called a woman Dana knew back in Austin. I wanted a reason. I wanted to find a girlfriend half his age, or a bankruptcy, or a record, anything I could hold up and say, "There, see, I knew it." And you know what I found? Nothing. Married 18 years. Divorced about 4 years ago. Ex-wife's about his age. 1 kid, a son named Eli, 19, in community college. Runs a small millwork shop that builds cabinets for restaurants and dentist offices. No arrests. No trail of young women. No lies I could catch. I found a normal man, and it made me angrier than if I'd found something, because now I didn't even have a reason. All I had was that he used to be my wife's. A few weeks later, he showed up at my work. By himself, no Maren. We talked out by the parking lot, in the heat, next to a company van. I asked him straight, "What are you doing with my daughter?" And he said, "The same thing you were doing with Dana when you met her. Trying to figure out if this is somebody I can build a life with." I damn near hit him for saying her name like that, like he had a right to it, but I didn't. And then he said the thing I still hear at night. He said, "You keep talking about Maren like somebody took her. Nobody took her, Wade. She walked toward me." I didn't have anything to say back. I just watched him get in his truck and go.
Man, nobody took her. She walked toward me. I've read that line back a few times, and honestly, it's kind of hard to argue with. And that's what makes this whole thing so uncomfortable. The guy might actually have a point. So where are you right now? Team Wade or Team Maren? Drop it in the comments, because trust me, this next part is going to flip some of you.
Now, don't get the wrong idea. Cal is not the good guy in this. I need to tell you the other part, because a couple months in, Maren found out he'd hidden something. Turns out, about 2 months into them dating, Cal had seen a family photo of Maren's online, on her Instagram, and Dana was in it, and he recognized her, right then, 2 months before that Sunday dinner. So when he stood in my backyard and said he didn't know until today, that was a lie. He knew. He'd known for 2 months who my daughter's mother was, and he sat at my table and played dumb. When it came out, he told Maren the truth about why. He said he'd wanted to tell her. He'd tried a few times, and every time he got scared she'd walk before she heard him out. So he just didn't. And I thought, good. Finally. This is it. This is the thing. She's gonna leave him. And she did. She packed a bag and went and stayed with a friend in Austin for 2 days. Dana was so relieved she cried. But here's what neither of us saw coming. Maren didn't come home. Because by then, she wasn't just mad at Cal. She was mad at all of us. She was mad at Cal for lying. She was mad at her mother for making a 30-year-old relationship the center of her daughter's life. And she was mad at me for treating her like a girl who couldn't be trusted to run her own life. Dana drove up to Austin. Maren finally opened the door. Dana walked in and said, "I was right about him." And Maren said, "No. You were right that he lied. That is not the same thing. Maren, you wanted him to be a bad person so badly because then you wouldn't have to admit that maybe the man you knew at 22 isn't the man I know now. He lied to you. And you waited almost 30 years for something to prove you right." And then my daughter said the thing that I think broke my wife for good. She said, "Mom, this relationship stopped being about me the second you recognized him." She went back to him, not right away, about 3 weeks, and she set terms. No more hiding anything, ever. They started seeing a counselor, together, and I want you to understand why that was almost worse for me than if she'd just forgiven him on the spot. Because now, it wasn't a young girl getting swept off her feet. It was a grown woman looking at everything, the lie, her mother, all of it, and choosing him anyway. On purpose, with her eyes open. A few months after that, she told us they were moving in together, a little place in Kyle, halfway between us and Austin. No wedding, no baby, no big dramatic proposal, just 2 adults getting a house. Dana said, "I can't pretend I'm okay with this." Maren said, "I'm not asking you to be okay with it." "Then what are you asking?" "To stop punishing me for who he used to be." And Dana couldn't. She just couldn't do it. Thanksgiving came. Maren showed up for about 20 minutes, alone, brought a pie from H-E-B, still in the plastic, hugged me at the door, and held on a second longer than usual. Dana asked her, "Are you staying?" "No. We're going to Eli's mom's place in New Braunfels." "We," that word. Dana said, "You could come here." And Maren looked at her mother for a long moment and said, "Could he?" And Dana didn't answer. Maren nodded, slow, like that was exactly what she figured. "That's what I thought." And she left. I went out after her, followed her down the driveway, and I had it right there on my tongue. "Don't go. Stay. We'll figure it out." But I knew it wouldn't change anything, because the only thing that would change anything was letting that man sit at our table. And I couldn't do it either. She got in her car. Before she shut the door, she looked up at me and she said, "I love you, Dad, but I'm done asking permission to live my life." Not, "I hate you," not, "I'm never speaking to you again." That would have been easier. That you can fight. She just drove off. A couple months later, I'm sitting in the living room and Dana's on the couch scrolling her phone, and she stops, just stops. And I see her look at something for a long time. It was a photo. Somebody's backyard barbecue. Maren, Cal, and his boy Eli all standing around a folding table with paper plates. Nothing romantic, no ring, just a regular afternoon. And Maren's laughing. Real laugh. Head back. She looks happy. Dana closed the phone. I said, "What?" She said, "Nothing." But I'd already seen it. And I'll tell you where I've landed, because I still don't have a clean ending to give you. I still don't know if that man is right for my daughter. I still don't trust him. My wife still can't be in the same room as him, and I don't think that's ever going to change. But somewhere in the middle of the night, I started to understand something I really wish I didn't. We were so scared of losing her to this man that we went and did the one thing we swore we never would. We lost her ourselves. There's no big reunion coming. I want to be honest with you about that. Maren didn't come home. Dana never accepted him. Cal never became part of the family. It just stayed broken. And I used to comfort myself thinking that one day my daughter would grow up and finally understand why we reacted the way we did. Now I'm scared of something else. I think she does understand. She just doesn't agree with us.
And that's where it ends. No big reunion, no happy little bow on top. Just a family that quietly stopped being one. And the part that sticks with me, maybe they weren't wrong about Cal, but maybe they were wrong about how hard they held the line. I don't have the answer, so I'm handing it to you. Were the parents right to stand their ground? Or did they lose their daughter over something that was never really about her? Tell me down below. I read every comment and I go back and forth on this one myself. If this story got you, hit like and subscribe. I've got another one just as heavy coming next. Take care of each other. I'll see you in the next one.